Okay, so something's going on. You disagree with your employer. Maybe they're asking you to come back in the office. You don't want to do that. Maybe they're setting some policies you disagree with, and you're like, I want to quit my job. I want to start a business. I want to be my own boss. Never again. Well, if that's you, this video is for you. My name is Susan Sly. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a co-CEO of a technology company. I'm a mom of 5, and I have been an entrepreneur for almost 4 decades. Yes. And I want to help you succeed. So this channel is dedicated to people just like you. You're thinking of starting a business. You have a business. You want to scale a business. And raw and real entrepreneurship, I keep it raw and real. There's no holds back. So let's get into it right this minute. And I'm going to share with you 5 things you need to know before you take the leap and go from employee to entrepreneur. Okay, the first thing is, number 1 is calm down. I've been there. That moment when you had a disagreement with your boss, or they call you in their office and they're like, well, I think your performance is whatever, or you just feel like they're criticizing you. It's a toxic workplace. And you're like, I want to leave. I'm done. I want to start a business. That's very, very common. And there are many people in your shoes today who are leaving jobs and starting businesses, but it doesn't mean it's the right choice. So the first thing I want to say to you is, let's get a reality check for a minute. If you have never owned a business, it's no joke. A lot goes into owning a business: accounting, marketing, sales, even social media these days, branding. The list is on and on and on. So my first point is this: could you find a different job in the meantime while you're getting organized to start a business? Because if you've never started a business, this is my first recommendation. Find a different job, find a different employer, find a situation that meets your needs. Right now in today's job market, employees are calling the shots. At Radius, we're in the process of hiring 60 employees, and employees are making different demands. They want work-life balance, they want to work from home, they want time flexibility. And the reality is, some employers, yes, do call you into the office. Some are more flexible, especially in the startup world where we are. And my advice to you is, if you're wildly unhappy, make that your first move, because you can be in another job while you're learning the ropes, while you're plugging into channels, videos just like this one, so that you can really set that solid foundation. So take a breath. Find a different job. That's my first thing. I know that's maybe not what you wanted to hear. You wanted some magical unicorn advice, like it's so easy to start a business. It isn't easy to start a business. That's why the failure rate is so high, because if entrepreneurship was easy, everyone would be an entrepreneur. Okay, so the first thing is find a different job. There are lots of them out there. Number 2 is set a budget. So you've said, okay, Susan, I am committed to being an entrepreneur. I've owned a business before, but I'm done with this job. I really want to start a business. Or I like your idea where I'm going to look for another job, but I still want to know what I need to do. So this is the next step: set a budget, not a business budget, a personal life budget. So how much is your mortgage, your rent? Do you have a car payment? I hope not. You should be paying off your debt. I do not recommend anyone start a business unless they're debt free, except their mortgage. Yeah, you heard me right. Yes. That's what I just said. So do you need to sell some stuff, get, all of that debt paid off? I love Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar app. That's the one I recommend to everyone. He's got the most succinct information out there on financial literacy. And that's what I suggest you do. Get the Every Dollar app and then go and create your budget. You need to know how much money you're going to need to be able to pay yourself in your business. And if you don't have a clue, that is setting you up for failure. So let's say by the time you add up your mortgage payment, you're able to pay off your debt, but you've got groceries, you've got utilities, maybe you have daycare, you have a whole bunch of expenses. Let's say it all adds up to $3,500 a month. you're going to have to make more than that in your business because you're going to be paying yourself after tax. And my rule of thumb is you need to double your monthly. So your business would have to make at least $7,000 before tax that you're able to pay yourself. And that doesn't include if you have employees, equipment costs, rent for that business, and so on. But start with your personal budget and then look at what your business budget is. There are a lot of businesses that you can start with $0 or very low cost. So you could go and as an example, if you know how to fix things, you could go start a service doing that kind of thing. You could clean houses if you're really desperate to get out of your job and you're like, I don't care if I have a master's degree, I'll do what I need to do. And there are people like that. I'm one of them. I will do whatever I need to do to protect my kids, keep a roof over our head, have groceries, do all that stuff, right? So, maybe you're at that point, and I get it. I have been there myself. And there's, Wayne Dyer, he was a friend of mine. He used to say, ego stands for edging God out. So you can just step back and go, I don't care. It's only for a season. Then there are, really businesses that have a higher degree of risk. So this leads me to my next point is, what is your risk tolerance? So if your risk tolerance is low, and by risk, I mean your financial risk tolerance, your emotional risk tolerance, then I suggest you start with something that you can do that you aren't investing a massive amount of money doing it. So could you do some consulting? Could you do some part-time tutoring? Could you do some teaching? Maybe you could do some bookkeeping. There are lots of people looking for part-time virtual assistants. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you're really good in sales. Maybe you could do commission sales. That is a way of being self-employed and having your own business at the same time. So are there things you can do that do not have a high startup fee? Maybe you throw up a website or whatever the case is, rebrand your social media. Start there. Right? Some people choose to go into other types of businesses where perhaps they're reselling goods and services, they're doing direct sales, they have a low startup cost, but they're going to cash flow that. One of the people that I have mentored, she actually sold a PlayStation to do her startup capital for a direct sales business. And she's been able to make over 6 figures annually. And that is unicorn territory. She's amazing at it. And shouts out to her. And she has 3 children. So that's the next tip, is to know what your risk tolerance is. If you are sitting on some cash and all your debts are paid off except for your mortgage, you've looked at your budget, you have over 6 months of living expenses in the bank, and you're saying, I can take a little more risk, then maybe there's a business that you've been passionate about for a long time, but you just haven't started. Maybe it's landscaping business, maybe it's a coaching business, maybe it's something where there will be a bigger capital expenditure, but you're going to be able to cash flow it. Because the worst thing that can happen, this pandemic is not the last pandemic. We all thought we would be out of it after round 1, but here we are, round 2 again, right? The things happen, life happens. And sadly, if you're in a position where you were already in debt, you took on more risk, you started a business, now you have more debt, you are going to be so stressed out that you're not going to be able to function in your business. My next tip is, can you start part-time? Is there a way to negotiate with your employer that maybe you can work from home? Maybe you can afford to go from full-time to part-time. Can you go in there and negotiate? Leaders ask for what they want. And I have a video called Asking for What You Want, how to do that. And so go and negotiate. Say, listen, I love my job, but I'm wildly unhappy in this environment. I would like to work from home. I'd like to go part-time. Is that a possibility? And then if you can go part-time and start your business part-time, that is the best of both worlds, because you've got that consistent paycheck, which is fabulous. You're learning about business, which is awesome, right? And then that way you have a solid exit strategy. It could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, but by this time next year, you could be a full-time entrepreneur. It'd be awesome. The last tip I want to give you is that you are going to have some very powerful habits. And that means getting up early, working longer days, getting that workout in so your mind is clear, your body is clear, getting super organized. I wrote a book called Organize Your Life, so you can go and order that book. Being very, very, very focused right? When you're focused and you have your blinders on and you've got the excellent habits, you will eventually get to that place. But if you don't have the habits and you're not hungry to be successful, you're not going to make it. And so you can't be that person. And I say this with such love. You can't be that person sitting there saying, I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm unhappy in my job, but I'm also a procrastinator. And I'm also stuffing my face with Ben and Jerry's at night. And I'm doing all these things, because those things don't work together. Until you change your habits, you will never change your results. So with that, I want you to know I believe in you. Stay tuned in, stay plugged in, make sure you subscribe. Let's stay connected. Go to susansly.com. Make sure you get on my mailing list. I do free monthly coaching for entrepreneurs just like you. I invite you to special events that people don't know about, and I would love to see you succeed. So with that, God bless. Go rock your day. If this video has been helpful, drop a comment below. I would love to engage with you. And also, if this has been helpful, I'd love for you to share it on social. Tag me at Susan Sly on Instagram, or on LinkedIn at Susan Sly, at Susan_Sly on Twitter. Tag me on Facebook. Just tag me. With that, I will see you in a future video. And remember, you've got this.